Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are discussing the return of Han Solo in the Book of Boba Fett. I know we are all excited and awaiting the 29th and hoping that the Book of Boba Fett will bring us as much joy and satisfaction that The Mandalorian gave us in its 2 magnificent seasons. Even though our little green friend will be absent from the show, we trade one Mandalorian for another. The man who donned the iconic armor for the first time, Boba Fett. Even though his time was short-lived on the big screen, his character lived on in legend stories and now canon. He has become the fiercest and most respected bounty hunter of all time. But if it wasn't for one man, Fett would not be as legendary as he is today. That man is the greatest smuggler of all time, Han Solo. Now, we all know the story of Boba Fett capturing Han in Carbonite and delivering him to Jabba, but did the two ever meet before that happened? And if so, could we possibly see them meet in the Book of Boba Fett for the first time? The show will focus on Boba taking the throne as the crime lord on Tatooine, but we should expect a decent dosage of flashbacks to the early days of Fett and his upbringing. The first time Solo and Boba met in canon was in A New Hope, but in Legends, the two briefly met 15 years earlier when Han was arrested for cheating at cards, which is a felony on the colony world of Jubilar. He was sentenced to fight in the regional sector's number 4 all-human free-for-all. Wow, that is a mouthful. But just before the fight began, Solo saw Boba Fett looking on in amusement, and that would be the first time the two locked eyes, but they would not meet face-to-face until many years later. But later that day, Boba did track down a man named Vors, who Jabba had put a bounty on and ended up killing him. He would then be exiled from the planet. So could we possibly see a small cameo from Han? Now, I don't expect him to be in a full episode, but seeing them meet before the original trilogy in some flashbacks would allow us to fill some gaps in Boba's backstory. Of course, we got a little bit of his backstory as a kid in Attack of the Clones with his father Jango Fett, but between then and the original trilogies, we don't have much to go on, so I think it would be cool to go back and really dive into the backstory a little bit and flesh out his character to see how he got to become this legendary bounty hunter, and that would be really cool. I think we all would love to see as much Boba Fett as possible. Now, if you didn't know, before capturing Han, Fett was just another bounty hunter employed by Jabba. He was really nothing special, but after capturing Han, he catapulted himself to a legend, and everyone in the galaxy knew his name. I think it would be wise for them to bring him back in some capacity, and flashbacks would probably be the best way to do it. The Mandalorian brought back several fan favorites in season 2, and it felt like a full-on fan service, which I absolutely loved. But this time around, I would like them to focus on new characters and storylines. I mean, Boba Fett is badass enough to always be the center of attention, but a glimpse or two of Han would be a nice little added touch. Now, obviously, Harrison Ford would not be in the show, so that leaves us with 2 options, CGI and Alden Ehrenreich. We have seen the use of CGI a few times in Star Wars, most notably in The Mandalorian with the return of Luke Skywalker, but we also saw it in Rogue One with the cameos of Leia and Moff Tarkin. Many people have discussed their issues using CG, but it does allow us to relive the glory days with our favorite characters. The issue that arises from using CGI for an entire series or even a few episodes is that it would take a pretty long time for the teams at Disney to recreate a realistic human being for those scenes, especially if it's some sort of action scene or something that requires a lot of attention for the character. Now, if it's for a small cameo appearance in a flashback, then they could easily use CGI to recreate a young Han Solo. But luckily, Disney already has their young Han Solo, Alden Ehrenreich. In 2018, Solo hit theaters, and the plan was to create an entire trilogy about the Star Wars underworld featuring our favorite smuggler. Unfortunately, the movie tanked. Not because the film itself was bad, but because Star Wars fans boycotted the film due to the backlash of The Last Jedi. Now, if you guys weren't around during that time, I was, and leading up to the movies, I remember a large portion of the Star Wars community was absolutely fed up with Kathleen Kennedy and her ability to run Lucasfilms, and therefore less tickets were sold and less money was made. Along with all the reshoots and several different directors, all the acting classes that actually had to be taking place, Solo's budget just got out of hand and resulted in a staggering $250 million loss for Disney. The plans for more spin-off movies were quickly scrapped, including the Boba Fett and Obi-Wan movies. But Disney Plus was created in its place, saving Star Wars. I was a big fan of the Solo movies and was hoping we would eventually get a Disney Plus show, but nothing is in the works that we know of. The odds of Alden returning as Solo are rather high. He is under contract for 2 more movies, which will most likely be reworked for him to appear in shows. We could also see him in the new Lando Calrissian show that's coming out in a few years with Donald Glover. So do you guys think he's going to reprise his role in the Book of Boba Fett? Or is Alden done in the Star Wars universe? Also, what did you guys think of his performance in the Solo movies? Like I said, I enjoyed it, and after watching it like 3 times, I thought it was a pretty solid movie that deserved more praise and even a sequel. It just came out after The Last Jedi and all the backlash, so it was just a rough time for Star Wars. So it is what it is. But I would love for Ehrenreich to come back for a few more cameos to flesh out the backstories of both characters a little more. I mean, it can't hurt, right? I think we'd all love to see that. So let me know down in the comments section below, is there another character that you guys would like to see appear? Maybe some other bounty hunters, someone related to Jabba, who knows? And I think that we're gonna do a few more videos leading up to the Book of Boba Fett, discussing who we could see and what what stories we can encounter. We have to remember that it's only 6 episodes. We do have a mini series. It's not going to be as long as The Mandalorian, and I don't know if we'll be getting a season 2. It looks like it could just be a one and done, but it depends how much money it makes for Disney. Obviously, if it's a home run, we're gonna get more and more seasons in the future. So let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you are thinking about the Book of Boba Fett. And of course, if you liked this video, if you could go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me, it helps spread the video out to other people. And of course, if you want to see more Star Wars videos in your subscription feed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you guys watching. I will see you in the next video.